the first one in the books. Take all the things that we've been working on in training camp, all the habits we've been building to get out there and kind of, put it into a live situation. So very pleased with the group. Felt like we didn't start like we should. We've got to, have a high standard of ourselves, how we want to come out from the jump. And but credit to our guys. They kind of worked through it. Started competing. Really proud of how they played together. 30 assists is pretty impressive for a first game. New system and everything. So overall, very pleased. But definitely focus on how we're going to get better and come in and work on the nuances of our offense and our defense a little bit tomorrow.
Caboclo appeared to be the go-to first big off the bench. I know it's only the first preseason game, but is that an accurate reflection of where the rotation is at this point?
Yeah, I'm not going to commit to who the first big is or first small off the bench. Definitely wanted him to get the first look. Proud of how he got better over the course of the game. Obviously, he had a high minute load because he's definitely a guy we really want to evaluate a lot and see what he can do for us, come season time. So no, true rhyme or reason to that other than, he just happened to be the first guy off the bench.
Coach, you had your expectations of how you wanted the game to go as far as the game plan of what you wanted to see them shoot, of how often you wanted to see them shoot, and where you wanted them to run and cut and how did what you see compute with what you thought?
Yeah, definitely our running habits can get a little bit better. In the heat of the game, guys trying to get from one possession to the next, really want to challenge our guys, make or miss to really get out. Bigs running down the middle of the floor, smalls getting out, widening up the floor. I thought we got better as the game went on. Definitely going to be a high priority for us as we went forward. But overall, with our motion, we got to our 5 spots, for the most part. We try to make purposeful cuts, make the right reads. We want to be an attack mindset, at all times in our motion. And then in our half-court sets, I think for the most part our guys, really communicate. Obviously me making calls from the bench or them making calls on their own. Guys were communicating, trying to make sure they were in the right spots. That's the number one goal. Let's make sure we get to our right spots, and after that, we just have freedom to play. So overall, very pleased. We'll go back and watch the film and really see where we're at and how we can kind of clean up, some of our offensive spots.
What'd you think of Ja?
Great. Challenged him before the game to really set a tone for us defensively. Loved how he competed on the ball. Definitely can, get a little bit better with some of the nuances of our pick and roll defense. I thought he did a pretty solid job keeping his guy in front, trying to keep him out of the paint. Big priority of ours defensively. And then offensively, again, I'm just going to keep challenging him to play with more pace and pace and pace. I thought he did a pretty good job there, weaving himself into the paint, making the unselfish plays. I think he ended up with 7 assists to 1 turnover and, obviously not his normal game minutes. So that's obviously very impressive for a rookie point guard. So another guy, we'll start diving into our individual film and see where he can grow in his game. Super confident, coming off shooting a 3 behind the screen. And then, the other piece is just him being very vocal. So I thought he pretty much did a good job, but I'm just going to keep steering him, just be more, vocal. Helps all your teammates be in the right spots.
Coach Ja obviously had his moments. Tyus was Tyus, as reliable as he normally is. But what did you see in that third point guard minutes from Grayson Allen? Had you seen much of him on the ball throughout your studies of him?
Yeah, sure. We put the ball in his hands a little bit in summer league. Obviously, going back to when he was at Duke, watching him being a primary ball handler. And he's definitely someone we want to, grow that area of his game and, put him in those situations. So I was very pleased with how Grayson managed the game, led us out there as a point guard. Obviously, he shot the ball really well, tonight. But overall, just putting him in a, not a true uncomfortable spot for him. He's been in that spot before, so I was very pleased. And just, I've been talking about all along having guys that are versatile, play multiple positions, whether he ends up being our third point guard or not, or another guy that we may just kind of run the offense through a little bit. Just areas for us during this preseason time to kind of see how guys are going to adapt in different roles.
Taylor, with 31 threes, did you like the mix of shots? It was probably maybe a touch easier to get to the paint than it may be in a normal situation, but did you like the mix?
Yeah, I thought overall, no one really forced anything from the three-point line. A lot of our offense created, initially with good pace and transition, run our lanes, drive and kick, and then I thought, just in the normal flow of our motion offense and our pick and roll offense, guys were taking, the drive and kick out threes. No one really forced anything. I'll go back and watch the film, but, none were true glaringly negative, threes. So for the most part, very encouraged that the guys were letting it fly. The energy on the bench, everyone kind of sees what's going on the floor. They start recognizing when they're going to get their threes. So overall, definitely very impressed with how they kind of approach that style and not being too greedy and appropriately shoot the threes that we need to take.
Yeah, I mean, what different on Tuesday do you want to see from this group that maybe you didn't see today? Is there anything in particular that you want to add in or see you guys develop?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it will just be cleanup. We'll go back and reassess where we're at, what's kind of sinking in with the group, see what we need to install tomorrow. Like I said at the beginning, I definitely want to see our guys come out with a little bit more edge to start the game, not wait till the first time out in the first quarter to kind of, get themselves going. I know early games can be a little bit tough, but, we want to have a standard where from the jump we're ready to compete. But definitely for the majority of the game, our guys compete at a pretty high level. And then, whatever we install is just kind of cleaning up our, our motion offense, where we need to be, our execution, and then some of the nuances in our pick and roll defense. I felt like, even some of our individual defense, we could have been a little bit better on the ball. Our weak side helped a little bit better. So it's kind of a totality of just really reassessing where we're at, what we can clean up, and then just find the appropriate things to add so we're not overwhelming our guys, so they can just go out and just compete and just find it as another opportunity to get better on Tuesday.
Obviously, Jonas being out kind of skewed things a bit, but for the first 3 quarters, there were some stretches where Solomon Hill was the second biggest guy out there, either next to Jaren or Caboclo or whoever. Is that a reflection of which one from this offense going smaller, or is that still kind of up for change depending on when Jonas comes back and whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, I think, obviously we can't wait to get Jonas back fully healthy, big part of our group. And then, with Solo, coming out there and playing the 4 spot, Yuta was the 3, but, he'll play the 4 some too, just the nature of the league. Sometimes we got to be prepared to go small. And, regardless of what our opponent's doing, sometimes it's going to be dictated by, are they going small, are they going big? I just want to find the best lineups out there. And if it means going small and putting Solo at the 4, a guy that can guard multiple positions and, create for us offensively, one-on-one or off of pick and rolls, a guy that can guard, multiple positions, that's important for us. So, again, just another opportunity for us to see, offensively where guys can kind of fit in, defensively where they can fit in. And, obviously when we get guys coming back from injury, it'll make those challenges a little bit tougher. But hopefully we get some, sample sizes in the bank to see what guys are successful at.
What was your assessment of Jaren? Played a lot of minutes at the 5 by necessity, obviously.
Sure. Yeah, no, I thought overall really loved how he attacked the boards. I think he ended up with 8 or 9 rebounds, confident shooting the ball. I thought he was pretty successful in our pick and roll defense. So overall, very positive takeaway from him. I really liked how he came out with that aggressive mindset of really going and ball hawking, creating some possessions for us, and then finishing the D and allow us to get out and run. So that was big. And then I also thought he was one of the guys on the floor. When we were kind of in that lull to start the game, that was really vocal, trying to get the guys up and amped. We got to have that spirit from all of our guys, and to see him kind of take the lead, that was a very positive growth moment for him and for our group.
And then kind of piggybacking on that, with both Jaren and Brandon starting there, it gives you, in principle, a very athletic front court. Can you kind of talk about the rationale going into that and then what you were able to see?
Yeah, I mean, obviously with Jonas being out, I opted to put Brandon in the starting lineup. Want to see him as much as possible too, and obviously got to see him a lot in summer league, but I wanted to throw our rookie into the mix. And as you said, it creates a lot of athleticism for us, especially with Ja out there. But overall, just trying to get another assessment of Brandon. So I know he was coming to the game, kind of with a little bit of an ankle issue, so we wanted to be smart, and I wanted to see him early in the game. All right, thank you. Thank you, everyone.